Okay, transmission oil change on a 2000 Toyota Camry. It's a 2.2 4-cylinder. We're not doing a complete flush on the car or the transmission. We're just draining the pan underneath the transmission and replacing the oil. I'm using Dextron 3, so that's Dextron 3 transmission oil. So that's just high quality transmission oil, or otherwise known as hydraulic oil. We're only removing, say, 35–40% of the oil, so it's kind of like a drain and fill. It's not a complete flush. A lot of the oil is in the bell housing and the lines. This is probably more a sensible way to do it. And what I do is I change my motor oil or engine oil, I beg your pardon, because a motor is an electric motor and fossil fuel engine is an engine. But anyway, I digress. I change my engine oil every 5,000 kilometres or 3,000 miles. And when I change the engine oil, I also drain the transmission sump. So we're just removing the transmission sump plug. This is my first time draining the transmission pan on this particular car. So if you want, you're welcome to join the journey. I'm going to take it for a quick spin just to warm up the oil. Okay, so that part there is the engine, and this is the transmission here. So it's a fairly small transmission. It goes from there to around about there. So and that's the oil pan down there. These automatic transmissions have a good name, so I'm hoping to get plenty of use out of it. I'm using an Allen key, and that will just slot into there, and we'll undo it and we'll put a pan underneath and drain it. Okay, so unfortunately there's only this cork type of gasket, but anyway, it's not a big filter. You can see it's about the size of my hand, and it's only got a mesh strainer, so the oil would flow in here and just come out there, and it'd be strained. Could you reuse this filter? Yeah, probably. If you got a container of fuel and just sloshed it around and tried to get everything out and wipe the outside, yeah, probably. I'll get the one that comes out of the transmission. I'll clean and put aside for next time. So yeah, once the transmission pan has been drained, I have to undo the bolts around the outside, take the old filter off and put the new one on. Okay, we've just taken it for a spin, and let's get that old oil out of there. A good video to watch is transmission fluid and filter change, Toyota Camry, South Main Auto Repair channel. I had an automatic transmission in the middle 1980s, and this is my second one, so I don't know all that much about transmissions. Oh yeah, there was the Chevrolet truck too. Yeah, okay, but I didn't know that you had to check the dipstick when the engine was running. But anyway, on with the show. By the way, there is a engine oil change. If you were to put in the search engine 2000 Toyota Camry oil change and my channel 1966 Human, then the video should be there. Okay, just like the engine oil change, I've jacked the car up and you know, that's what I use for safety. I have a backup plan usually for everything, and so I've just put blocks, and I know that blocks won't collapse, and I've chocked the wheels. Situation where things get down and dirty, I use this type of glove, a pretty strong latex type of glove, and I can get them at a fuel station. I think the fuel station's name is Speedway. Okay, I'll get in there and rip the transmission sump pan, and I think it's a 10mm socket. Okay, now apparently the two rear nuts there, are shorter than the front one there. And there's this wire, I've just got to unclip like that. So I'll replace that filter now, or that strainer. It's the same 10mm. And they're very loose. It's just very lightly hand tight. And these nuts around the edge were pretty loose. My first impressions is that the filter is actually quite clean. You know, there's nothing in the strainer. I don't know when it was last replaced, but the oil is fairly dirty, and the oil had to be replaced. However, if we look at the filter, it's not too bad, and the strainer's clean. I'm thinking what we'll do with this video is anything in the pan I'm going to leave there, and as I tip it out that'll stay in there, and any metallic residue I'm going to collect it, and we're just going to see how much is there. But what I'll be doing, you know, I'm a very gentle driver. I don't abuse the engine, and I keep my oils clean. But I don't think I'll be replacing the strainer all that often. I'll just be undoing the bolt and replacing the oil fairly regularly. Okay, time to replace the strainer. Okay, so that's the hole that the strainer goes into there. bonus footage of the bottom of the transmission. Okay, what I did was I just got it hand tight. I just turned with that like so, and they're all good. I did bend this tang back a little bit just to get the wire in behind there, but you may not have to. It may just slot in behind there. Okay, time to put on the pan. Okay, 3 litres and 400 to 500 mils came out of the pan. Yeah, so that's 3 litres and I'd say 500 mils, or 3.5, or a bit below 3.5 mils has been drained out of the transmission. The oil itself that was in the transmission was pretty well overdue, so the rest of the oil in the transmission is of the same quality. However, what I'll probably do is, I'd say I'll do another drain. Of course I won't have to replace the oil strainer, but I'll do another drain and refill of the transmission pan fairly soon after this work is done. The quality of the oil and the oil strainer was good. You may be able to see there that there's a little bit of metallic residue, but not all that much. So that's good news. Okay, well, unfortunately I don't have any spray-on glue to keep the gasket in place on the pan. The gasket has to be held in place on the pan before installation, otherwise it's going to be very hard to get those nuts into place. So it's a long story. I did have some, but I thought it was of low quality, using it on another job. That's been thrown out. It was on my list of things to get when I was in the hardware store. However, they didn't seem to have any, so I'll have to somehow get to a hardware store and get some spray-on glue. Don't use grease or silicone to hold the gasket in place, because you never know what effects that's going to have on the hydraulic oil. Okay, 5 minutes, the glue's after being applied. Yeah, so you're going to have to go out and get the spray. I wouldn't spray any in the pan, just around the edges, just put some cloth in the pan, and yeah, that's the solution, is the glue. Also, you've got your 2 magnets there. Okay, I'll go ahead and install that now. Okay, I'm just using this tool and getting these hand tight. And now for the drain pan bolt. However, I have noticed another drain plug, and that is there. Okay, that second drain plug, that's for the differential. Okay, don't undo that. That's got nothing to do with the transmission. So the drain plug is there. And the fill plug, where you put the differential oil back in, is way up behind, up there. Okay, so it's time to put the oil back in it, the hydraulic oil. On one video it said 2.5 quarts, and I noticed that quarts is very close to litres. I took out, as I've said, 3 litres and I think 400 or 500 mils. So I'm not sure that the original amount of oil in the transmission was correct, so I'm going to have to be on the safe side. I think I'll try that 2.5 quarts or 2.36 litres. Yeah, I've gone up and checked, and it's 2.5 quarts, and you know, there's a little bit less than that for litres, so I'll put that in now. So this is what I'm using as support. So never get your body underneath a car. Only using a jack stand like that, you need vehicle support. Okay, there's the funnel, and there's this clip here to hold the dipstick in. So I've gone down underneath that and I've attached to something, and I'm just holding the funnel in place. Okay, I've put 2 litres and 400 of oil, and get the stick out, and you might be able to see there possibly that well, anyway, it's up to there. Okay, so I've made sure there's no material around this area where the fans are. We'll start it up. We'll have a look at the height of the oil and dipstick. We'll then, once it's satisfactory, we'll take it for a spin and then check it for the last time. Okay, so I'll just cycle through the park and drive and reverse. It's hard to say, but I think it's down to maybe there. Okay, so how much did I end up putting in? Well, I'm assuming here that there wasn't enough transmission oil in the transmission in the first place, because I put in 1, 2, 3, and that's 250, 250, 250, 250, so that's 4 plus 250 mils, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 litres, and I took 3.5 litres out of the transmission. Any follow-up work I do, or any more transmission fluid I add, please check in the description below, and you know, I'll put in how it finished for this video, hopefully. And as the transmission oil changes you know, continue, I'll have a more accurate idea of how much I drain and how much I put in, which will be the same. You know, next time I'll check how much transmission oil is in the transmission, just to make sure that, you know, when I drain it and refill it, that it's accurate. Okay, so please check the description, and eventually I'll give you an accurate number of exactly how much is drained and added. One thing I'd like to say is that when I jacked the side of the car up, more oil did come out. Okay, so that may have something to do with it. Okay, it's up to there, which is just above the top notch on the cool side of the dipstick. So yeah, that's confirmed on the other side.